Hey everybody, it's Ian from Las Vegas Scooters and Lifts, and today on my left I've got a Pride folding scooter with a problem. Okay, here it is. So, gentleman brought this in, he just bought it, and it's got a few problems. Some I'm not going to touch, I'm not going to fix. Told him he needs to sort that out by replacing the battery box. I'm not going to start messing around with cutting wires and replacing parts for him on that. So I told him that if he wants to run it like that, he can. But anyway, the problem we've got is in this top console area that it keeps cutting out, and I took it for a little test drive around the store, and it's flashing 7 on this reading just here. And normally when you turn in a corner, and I also undid this so I can, inside of here is like a coiled wire, and surely over time, I'm not sure how old this scooter is, but it looks pretty newish. It's not too bad of a condition, but it cuts out and it gives us a 7 flash code. Also the throttle is a little bit loose, but I don't think it's the throttle. I think it's the cable that runs from the top console down through to the controller, which is located under the battery box on these. The cable runs through down there. As you can, don't know if you can see it, it's just there. That's where your wire comes out the bottom. So I'll do some investigating, just check it all over. I'm going to take the console apart and then tip it up and just trace the wires back, see if there's any broken wires evident, any cuts or damage to it that may be causing it. And I can also inspect the throttle while I'm in there. It's a little tad loose, but nothing dramatic. It's usually that coiled wire, because it extends up and down. It has to sort of like coil up and down to follow it, but that's what I'm thinking it is. It doesn't seem to be doing it when it's not moving. It's only when the throttle's activated, which also says to me a broken wire, because it's losing connection. The controller's getting the signal and then suddenly cutting off or getting interrupted. So it's hard to test it when it's on the left like this, but I'll strip it down and have a look at it, see if I can find anything that's obvious. Okay, just set you up on the back of the scooter so you can sort of see what I'm doing. So I think there's 3 screws that hold this in place. It's a little bit awkward, but once you've done a couple of them, you'll get around it. One on this side, underneath the throttle, just a little screw. One on the other side. And then there's 2 more, so there's 5 in total we have to. There's 2. One at the front here, facing forward, and the one at the bottom. So there's 5, not 3. Careful not to over tighten these, because they're just, somebody's replaced that screw. Unless, this one didn't come out, yeah, don't over tighten these when you put it back together, because they're just into the plastic and it just ends up stripping really easy. So your little 2 black screws, let's get a magnet to get that out. Little 2 black screws, you can see that, they go in there, and the silver ones go under there and there. Just put them safe. one at the bottom. Okay, so the way you want to unclip that is pull from the bottom there and make sure I don't lose that other screw. Did it drop? Yep, so lift it from the front. Like I said, it's a bit awkward to get off. Tighten that back up. So the way you can do this is pull the bottom, pull the front, and at the front there, if you can see it, at the front there's like a little tab you have to press in, or you can just pry it like that. Okay. So in your top console you've got a circuit board where everything plugs in, and also your throttle. I'm just looking over it. Just making sure all the plugs are in place, there's nothing loose. Nothing's come out. Everything's plugged in where it should be. Okay, let's reset it, see if we can recreate the problem. See if we can identify where the problem's coming from. These are the worst kind of diagnostics you can do, is intermittent problems. And you've got to try and recreate where the problem is. I make two versions of this, one with the analog dial and one with the LED dial. When the analog dial came out, there was a dial on that you could turn it up and down, and when they set them at the factory they set them too low, so the dial was reading in the never going into the green enough. It looked like the batteries were running out really quickly on them. So you could actually go in there, it's actually on there, that was for the analog, and you could dial it up and down to change the voltage reading, so you could kind of calibrate it yourself, and that's why they slipped over to the LED method, because I guess they didn't figure it out. But I can't get it to blow off a code for me. Unfortunately, I've got no tester parts for one of these, because they don't usually come in for problems. They have been a good scooter since 2015 when they released this. It's very similar to the, if not identical, platform to the EV Rider manual folding scooter. Slight differences between the two. Pride put their own parts on it, like the rear light and that kind of thing. I'm sure they use their own drive system. Let's make sure nothing is touching up there on the speed dial. I do want to try and get that top portion of this console off. So to get rid of the top console part, this part, there's two screws through the handlebars. There's one. Now I've already priced up one of these for a gentleman who bought the scooter from us from Lebanon. He came in from Lebanon to buy a scooter, and he's had his few years, and his is doing the same thing. He travels a lot with it though, on airplanes, and of course the weak point is this cable that runs through the tiller. I don't think, we priced it up, I don't think they sell just the cable, they sell the whole tiller, and it outweighs the price of the scooter, unfortunately. And he wasn't willing to repair it, so we told him just get a new scooter. He'd had it some years now, I think probably 5 or 6 years he'd had it. Well, I don't see any evidence of any wires cut. There's a little bit of squishing on the power cable to the LED battery gauge, but that wouldn't do anything. It's not flickering or anything like that. That's just your LED light. It's just your power and your horn, key switch and light switch, which works fine. I did get an error then, so it could be speed dial. Yep, it's got a faulty speed dial by the look of it. Let me just see if I can recreate it again. Yep, around about maximum speed, just before maximum speed it kicks off. Yeah, and again. Try not to move any wires so it can eliminate that. So I'm turning it up, jiggle. No, it's not doing it. Like I said, these are the hardest ones to diagnose. No, it's not doing it again now. Okay, so moving it around did work. Okay, so we're getting further. And again, got a broken wire somewhere. So what I'm basically doing is going from the throttle pot wiring to the main harness wiring, which is this plug here. There's 2 wires according to that, and there's 2 wire throttle. So turn it off. Getting a permanent error now. Going to unplug the important thing, like the horn and the light. Don't need that. So now I can, no, that won't function without the horn in it, because it's a power loop. Make sure the horn still works. Yeah. Hear that? The throttle's working by itself. just unplug the throttle. Okay, so what I've done is took the circuit board from here, because I was getting a throttle activation when I was playing with. This is your speed dial, that is your throttle. It's always 3-wire for your throttle. And I was getting a throttle activation even though the throttle wasn't being touched. I was getting throttle activation on there, but I took the circuit board off the plastic there just to see if I could see if there's any broken traces or anything on there, but as you can see they put a black sponge over it and I can't get that off. To inspect if there's a broken pin or not, you can just barely see through there, but I'm not going to start ripping that apart. So that's where his problems lie in, I think, is this. I don't think his main harness is broken. Put the battery back in. I'll just set you back up there. Okay, so we're back at the folding scooter, the Pride folding scooter, and I think I found the problem. So this one here is your throttle, this one here is your speed dial, that's not used. But if you look at the speed dial connector, let me just zoom in so you can see what's going on. So you go over a bump, see that pin? That pin's come away from the circuit board, so that's causing the problem. So I've got to strip all that off to try and resolder it back on, but that's the problem. So it's the speed dial that's causing the 7 error. I've replaced the battery pack with a lithium ion battery pack. There's his old battery pack down here that he did actually butcher, and when I opened this up to test the batteries to see if they're any good, he's not going to repair this, I'm repairing this, but the charger cable wasn't plugged in, so he's repaired it but not plugged the charger cable back in, so those batteries are no good, so I put the lithium ion battery in there. These retail, the lithium batteries, these retail MSRP for $1,200. So I don't understand why they're that expensive, but they're 11 AH battery. So I'm going to have to get a lithium charger for it, but I've replaced, that's a brand new lithium battery. So it won't affect the scooter in any way. But they built them that way that you could interchange between SLA and lithium ion. So I'm going to repair this one and put the time and effort into stripping this down and repairing it, and putting the money into the battery case and battery, and then try and resell it to recuperate some money to us. So, but yeah, I'm going to repair that, try and strip this sponge off of it to get to those pins. I've already started to peel it back a bit, but anyway, let me get into repairing that, and I'm just going to take a picture of these wires, so when I unplug it and plug it back in, so you got your, I'm guessing that's the horn, so P1 is horn, P2 is power, I'm not sure what that one is. You've got main harness, yellow, then black, red, thin black red. So at least I can look back on the video to how it all plugs in. Alright, so let's take the circuit board off and see if I can strip it down. Alrighty, on the workbench. There we go. Put some light on the matter. Zoom in a little bit so you can see what's going on. Okay, so put the circuit board off. I'm just inspecting the rest of it. Not much to it. There's that dial I was talking about earlier to change the voltage rating on the analog voltmeter. It doesn't work on the LEDs. The LEDs are pre-calibrated. But I'll strip this off carefully. Without damaging anything. It may be a broken trace as well as, because the throttle and the speed dial are work together basically in one. The throttle tells the brain that it's been activated, which direction it needs to go, and the speed dial tells it how fast to go, or sets the speed. Both work on a potentiometer, and they're difficult to test. They don't give you any readings for those. Some manufacturers do, golden. Alright. Yeah, it's that one. I don't know if you can see it. It's this side. It's come loose. But I'll heat them up. And once it's soldered or soldered back on, I'll give it a test. Get some, see if I can get alcohol on it, see if I can clean it up a little bit. If it will get the sticky stuff off without damaging the circuit board. I don't fancy paying $400 for a new circuit board, because they don't sell the circuit board, they sell the whole thing, whole top console. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah. It's definitely that one, I don't know if you can see. Now if we zoomed in far enough. Let's see. You can see that pin poking through. Yeah, so that's what's causing it. It was making connection and then losing connection. And I think the other side, yeah, the other side's broken loose as well. So I'll repair that. Just resort it. Yeah, both of them are loose. Yeah. Okay. Get the old trusty soldering iron out and get that resoldered back on there. There we go. Alright. Just straighten this. Soldering out. Oop. Make sure I've got enough purchase on there. Alright, let's check that with a loop. Because I'm blind and old. Or old and blind. Okay. Yep, that's got it. I'm just going to check the throttle wiring. I don't want to be going in here and then finding out the throttle's no good as well. Just peel this back a bit. There's your 3 pins for the throttle. Let's give that a wiggle. Yeah, they're fine. So it's just a speed dial. Okay, so alright, so got the circuit board back in. Let's put the wires back in, see if we can remember which way round they go. So we have the easy one, the big 4, and the skinny one down there. Okay, make sure I'm all on. So I took this out for a ride and one light went down, but it picked back up again. But it's the day after the Super Bowl, all the big planes are coming in to take you all home. All done to Kansas for winning. It was into overtime at the end that they won. Unlucky for the 49ers. I don't follow football nor soccer. I've got better things to do. I'm a music guy, not a football sports guy. But anyway, yeah, it goes up the hills alright. It's quite a steep incline there. But one thing I did want to say is that very much like a drive scooter. I may not have mentioned this in the review video, but it's a very bumpy scooter. Very hard riding scooter. So when you go over bumps, which I do to test the wiring, you can see this is quite a big incline at Drew's place. But it manages that okay. A little whine from the motor, but nothing unusual. It's hard doing this left-handed. Throttle's very sensitive from full speed to when you release off a little bit. It's got a nice slow start. There was a comment in one of the videos, somebody's looking for a scooter that has a nice slow start, somebody that can't control the throttle as well, so they want to find a scooter that has a nice slow start. I think they're in Australia. The best thing to do is try the scooters. That's all we can sort of say, is put them at the lowest speed setting and then push the paddle all the way in. It's bumpy. And see how it takes off. If it's it was mainly the older Travel Pluses that tended to go away at a big start. A plane coming in to pick you up. Sidewalk cracks. Oh, wait a second. We're on the flight path to landing. These sidewalk cracks, these control joints they call them, when they lay this cement down. You can feel them in the wheels are pretty hard. Good thing that they won't wear down as quick, but makes you ride a little bit rougher, especially when you go over bumps and things like this. You see it shaking around. This is where I usually go to test if there's any break in any wiring or anything like that. You just go around here. Now you see me do the circuit, which is out that way. It's a 2 to 3 mile circuit that I go on. Now let's try the start. So this is full speed, full throttle on. It's got a nice slow gradual start, it's not jerky. Just jerk to stop, so let's try it on its slowest speed setting. Yeah, it's nice and slow. It's ideal. The position is not the best. Alright, let's see if I can operate the door and the scooter and the camera all at once. There we go. Nice sunny day in Vegas. Nice cool weather. It's in the 50s, 60s. Let's go back in the shop.
Okay. So, yeah, I think you're...
Well, it seems to be functioning. You see one light's gone down. I haven't charged this battery for a while, so... see one light's gone down there. Give it a second, it will probably pop back up again. Just turn it off. Usually does it. There it goes. Back on again. I don't like the LEDs as much as I do the analogues. The analogues give you a proper reading. Right, let's get it back on the left and get it cleaned up. Alrighty. Alright. So I won't take any more time showing you how to clean one of these things. I'll just show you when it's all done and ready. Okay, so all cleaned up, all done, all repaired. Everything's okay. I'll put it on charge, got the charger there. So good. So it cuts out the scooter when it's charging, so that's good. Yeah, there's a couple of scuffs on it. Minor scuffs, cosmetic stuff on there. Another one around there. But yeah, otherwise it's all done. So I'll put that up for sale and hopefully somebody will buy it. So I've still got the poster there that we had made. So make a good addition to the shop. So anyway, there's your folding scooter. So if you like this kind of video, like, share it with your friends, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Any questions, drop them in the comments, or any comments, just drop them in the comments. But any in-depth comments, please email us, don't call us, we're slightly busy, and sometimes we're on our own, sometimes in the shop, so we can't be on the phone for too long. But yeah, if you've got any in-depth comments or questions, drop them in an email to us, sales at Las Vegas Scooters and Lifts. Any spare parts that we may have are on our eBay page, which is linked in the description below. So from sunny Las Vegas, well done Kansas City. So till next time, bye now.